Let's shift focus now. Let's look at the energy sector because the Ministry of Energy is refuting claims by former Minister of Power, Dr. Kwabena Donkor, that the country will return to the dark days of the long-drawn power outages, popularly referred to as Dumsor. The minority had cautioned that if urgent steps are not taken to address the country's generation capacity, I should say, Ghana may be back to the dark days of Dumsor. However, the ministry in a statement has provided clarity on the status of the country's energy sector. We can now bring you excerpts of that statement, which you have on your screens right now, indicating that the attention of the Ministry of Energy has been drawn to a news item on various media platforms in which former Minister for Power under the John Dramani Mahama administration, Dr. Kwabena Donkor, is quoted as predicting the return of Dumsor on the back of what he describes as insignificant addition to our generational capacity. I'll just take you to the third point, the third statement, page 3 of the statement, where they give some clarity on the steps that they've taken to address the situation, indicating in a table what the Nana-Addo administration has done so far in terms of adding on. So here you have it, indicating that in terms of the existing generational capacity, the claim by Dr. Kwabena Donkor that the NPP government has not added significantly to the generational capacity, to the generation capacity, cannot be supported by the available facts. And they provide the facts down there for you that under the administration of President Akufo-Addo, there are a number of interventions which are already underway. There you have the project Amandi providing some 204 megawatts of power. Bui solar project is also supposed to produce some 50 megawatts of power. And the VRA project is also there producing some 17 megawatts of power. So at the backdrop of this, the Energy Ministry is claiming that even with our peak demand of 3,469 megawatts of power, the capacity we have is in excess, which amounts to some 5,358 megawatts of power. So why is the ministry justifying its position? Joining us now is Kofi Abrefa Afena, who's the communication specialist at the Ministry of Energy, joining us to provide some clarity on this. Thank you so much, sir, for your time. So why are you concerned about the statement of the minority if indeed Ghana has the capacity to contain our energy sector?
Thank you very much. Good evening to your viewers. We are concerned because basically the statement by the former power minister sought to send some undue shivers down the spine of Ghanaians. For us, it is attempted to cause some fear and panic among Ghanaians. And so we, by this statement, seek to set the record straight and to provide clarity, as you rightly indicated, that Ghana will never return to the dark days of Dumsor. Indeed, what happened during the John Mahama era, where we had Dumsor, Ghana reeling under some power crisis, is indeed a blot in the history of our republic, and Ghanaians do not in any way want to go back. So we sought to indicate that it is nothing of that sort. We are really on the ground, and we are determined to ensure that the lights are on and it will keep the nation moving.
It's interesting how in your statement you're indicating that even with a peak demand of 3,000 megawatts, you're having excess capacity to contain the situation. Many experts will tell you that clearly you cannot take John Mahama out of the equation in terms of adding on to the generation capacity and even the mix as well. So give credit when it's due, isn't it?
Clearly, the record will show that it is during the administration of President Akufo-Addo that Dumsor was finally banned in the dictionaries.
Yes, but I'm asking you, Kofi, I'm simply asking you to appreciate the fact that some works have been done in the past. You agree?
I do not think you want me to, if you like, jump onto your bandwagon.
It's not necessarily the case, but I'm just trying to put out the facts there as well. You agree that it's a collective effort. It's not just the case that the president has single-handedly added on to the mix. The point is the administration, the SY administration, also provided capacity. You agree?
Absolutely. I mean, government is a continuum, and we are not saying that they didn't do anything. If indeed they did much, why was Ghana reeling under power crisis? I mean, let's make progress, because what we are seeking to do is to put out a very incontrovertible fact, which is that Dumsor under John Mahama was caused by three main problems. Number one, poor hydrology due to overdrafting of our hydro dams, inadequate fuel supply to thermal plants, and financial challenges. Indeed, when you talk about financial challenges, they will always dispute that fact. But time without number, it has proven that indeed it is part of the reasons why Ghana was reeling in such power crisis. So what we have done is to institute what we call a cash flow mechanism. In fact, this cash flow mechanism allows for liquidity among the actors in our power sector, which will ensure the reduction of inter-utility indebtedness. So these, among other things, talking about the government ensuring that there's the phenomenon of prudent addition to our generation capacity in terms, as demonstrated in the statement, in terms of the projects we have done, our ongoing projects, our projected peak demand from 2023 to 2027, are all the various reasons that makes us come into conclusion that indeed it is nothing but an undue shivers being sent down the spine of Ghanaians, and we totally and outrightly reject the assertions of the former power minister.
All right, Kofi, help us with this. We need to get clarity on that as well. You've provided clarity on the capacity. You indicate that we're exceeding by over 2,000 megawatts in terms of capacity, but what is the main concern for some experts as well has got to do with the independent power producers and what the situation is in terms of our debt to these companies. Have we settled all of them? What's our status? And that will be, I guess, the guarantee that we may not return to the dark days. You agree?
So you realize or you recall that a lot of IPPs were signed. I mean, and these IPPs were signed essentially on the back of take or pay, which plunged Ghana into some much more economic crisis. So what this government has done is to engage in a review of some of these existing power purchase agreements, because some of these were arbitrarily signed. I mean, you have excess, but you keep on signing. So what the Energy Ministry under the able leadership of Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh is seeking to do is to renegotiate some of these existing power purchase agreements, and then also prudently add to our generation mix. So we are on course. It's a very much a process, and we want to assure Ghanaians that everything that is being done is in the interest of the Republic of Ghana, to ensure that, one, we have value for money. We are not going back to the days of take or pay, where the Ghanaian taxpayer is so much burdened, and also to ensure that the lights are on, and then we keep the nation moving. Of course, so, sometimes there will be isolated cases of power outages. I mean, because of some still challenges in our generation, transmission, and distribution value chain. But just like any machine, I mean, we are ensuring every day assiduously that all of these things are sorted out.
Interesting. But last year, I guess late last year, there were clear indications that we're experiencing some challenges. The ministry attributed the challenges to the need to refurbish and upgrade the installations that we have across some significant or very important bulk supply points across the country. How far with such a project, and would you say that we're stable now in terms of power supply?
As you rightly mentioned, it's very much, these are transmission lines that were used. I mean, it predates even our colonial days, and I mean, to work on them, you would definitely have to put off these lights. So we are very much on course. We have done with Kaswa, BSP, Pokuase. All of these projects are very much on course, and then we are keen on ensuring that the Ghanaian is very much comfortable in terms of stability of these lights.
So what's the theme now? Dumsor and Dumsor.
So we are very much done with
Right.
Dumsor. So our priority now is to keeping the lights on and the nation moving.
So Dumsor is over, I guess.
I mean, when you talk about Dumsor, I mean, Dumsor has happened during John Mahama is not what is happening currently. I mean, we make that point very forcefully. We make it without equivocation that what is happening currently may be some isolated cases, which admittedly is because, of course, I mean, giving where we are and when we want to go, we want to solve some challenges in the whole value chain. So that is what causes all of these things. And of course, like your car, my brother, like your car. I mean, you go home, you know that the next morning you are starting to join news to engage in your mundane activities, and then the clutch wouldn't help you do your work. So I mean, very much like any machine, some of these things may come up sometimes, but our technicians are always on the ground. In fact, the Honorable Minister, Honorable Matthew Poku Prempeh, keeps telling the actors of our
Anyway, Kofi, I guess you've made the point. I'm grateful that you've been able to join us. That's Kofi Afena with the Ministry of Energy, giving us some clarity there. But